Hey guys, what's up? It's Shandy and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you 3 pretty easy wall decor DIYs. I just wanted to make them and I thought, well, why not film myself and show you guys how to make them in case you wanted to make them too. Also, forgive me if I sound funny over the voiceover. It's just my Invisalign, so sometimes I have like a weird lisp. Okay, that's it. So let's just start the video. For this first DIY, you'll need a canvas, some flowers or a branch. I think fake ones would work best because they won't leave any dirt on your canvas, some spray paint, and some gloves. This DIY is really easy. It's literally just spray painting over flowers onto a canvas, but it leaves a really cool shape behind. So I chose this leaf branch from the dollar store because I thought it would leave a cool shape. First, arrange your flowers or branches how you want them to look onto your canvas and make sure to flatten them pretty well so the paint stays on top of them for the most part and won't go underneath the leaves and ruin your picture. Then, just spray your spray paint onto your canvas however you want it to look. Let it dry for about 30 minutes and then you're done. I love how the lines aren't super sharp, like if you were to paint or draw this, but are almost blurry, which I think is really cool. This second DIY is also very easy, but is a little more time consuming based on how you want it to look. So for this one, you'll need a wooden dowel, some yarn, and scissors. First, I cut the dowel down to my desired length. Because I wanted my yarn to be about the length of my arm, I measured the yarn to be double the length of my arm since we'll have to fold it in half. Then I put the yarn under the dowel and pulled the remaining yarn through the created hole to make a knot. Repeat this as many times as you'd like to get your desired fullness. I ended up using about 150 pieces of yarn because I wanted mine to be super full, and because I braided a few pieces and didn't want the braids to compromise on the fullness. And because my pieces were so long, I had to brush through them a few times so they wouldn't get tangled together. Then you can leave it as is or add some details to it. I chose to put some braids in mine varying in length from short to long. I ended up using 6 strands of yarn for each strand of the braids, totaling 18 strands of yarn for each braid. Then I just pulled out the braids a bit so they weren't so tight. And when I was done, I cut it into a diagonal line to coincide with the length of the braids. I also took 3 strands of yarn and braided them together and tied it to the dowel to hang it from. For the third DIY, you'll need a wooden sign, paint, a paintbrush, a pencil, and a printout of your desired word or picture. That part's only necessary if you don't want to freehand. So I just printed out the words "Hey there" from my computer in my desired font, and then I cut the shape of the words to make them easier to use. Then, taking a pencil, I colored the back of each word so the back was completely covered, and we'll come back to this in a bit. And I definitely should have done this first, but I painted my white sign to have a nice plain background. You could definitely leave it as is if you want, but I just thought the white looked really nice. I ended up having to use 2 coats of paint to make it more opaque. So then I set it up to dry for about 15 minutes, and in the meantime I mixed this pink for the lettering that I'm using. So now I'm taking my words and figuring out where I want them to be on the sign. Then with my mechanical pencil, not using the lead, just the plastic part, I traced over the letters. This leaves a faint line for me to paint over so the letters look how I want them to look. If you're confident enough, you can just go ahead and freehand this part, but I wanted my sign to actually look nice, and for me, that means I have to trace them. I really loved how this turned out. It looks so nice, and I think it's a nice, cute alternative to the traditional welcome sign that people have. I was also going to hang this, but then I put it down to get the stuff to hang it with, and I decided I really liked it there, so I just left it. So I hope you really really enjoyed those DIYs. They were really fun to make. They're actually really easy. If you liked the video, like it to let me know that you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more.